What's up, dudes? This is I think I'm gonna call this series, I don't know, vlogs for me or something, and then I'll probably do like one of these every day, and then maybe I'll do, if I have to like talk about something or I feel like I should, then I'll do that on top of it. Maybe. I'm not sure. I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm the only one. These are for me, right? I guess they're not supposed to be, but whatever. Anyway, I'm in a better mood. If you guys watched the last video, which I don't know, nobody watches anything, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, I watched my last video because I watch all my own videos because I find them entertaining. Um, that's a very interesting thing. A lot of YouTubers really hate their early videos. Like on my other channel, like my early videos are kind of garbo, if I'm being honest. But I like them. I think they're like they're cool in their own way. Because I mean, I still knew what I was talking about. I didn't have like any of the cool stuff now. Like because I didn't have any graphic designers, I didn't have any editors. Like my channel kind of like sucked. It was so small. And like back then, I was like barely making enough money to like survive. And I was in like a two-person household, and I was like the only income. I was doing like 10 to 12 hours a day. Holy god, those were terrible times. Those were actually so bad. Those are shockingly bad. Those were really rough times. Anyway, where was I? Last video yesterday. Yesterday was like an incoherent ramble, if I'm being honest. I don't I don't remember saying anything that was like coherent or made a lot of sense. Um, but today was good. So today, the person that I talked to, I was supposed to be hanging out with them tomorrow, but I ended up hanging out with them today. So I went to church, and then I hung out with the Puerto Rican girl, and she didn't speak like any English at all. But I mean, I speak Spanish, right? And she like grew up on a farm as a kid. Like it's not a very common experience like growing up in a small farm in Latin America in the United States, like at all. Like she recently came to the US like 4 months ago. I don't really have to worry about like any like weird stuff. So I'm a US citizen and I'm a Panamanian citizen. So um if a pretty Latina girl that recently came to the US is a little too friendly with me, that should bring up red flags. For context, if you're in the states and someone who without papers is getting a little too close to you, you should be concerned. But if they're Puerto Rican is just the right type of Latin American to where they all have U.S. citizenship ever since I think like 1917 under Taft. Um, don't ask me how I know that. Or maybe it was Wilson. Anyway, point is, they're all U.S. citizens. So they're just chilling. If you meet a Puerto Rican, they may not speak English, but they're just as much of a citizen as you are. So anyway, it was pretty cool. We both like had like a lot of I don't know, a lot of like a quiet Latin life to kind of open up, and is nice. Is really cool. Her Spanish obviously much better than mine. I mean, my Spanish is good. But I mean, yeah, I'm in the U.S. for a while, and my Spanish is not like I've been doing the due diligence, my upkeep with it. Between my uneducated Panamanian accent, if I'm being frank, and my simple whiteness, my Spanish is just not what it was at one point. But I mean, pretty good. I had like a good day. We just walked around and talked, and we had like shaved ice, and it was really nice. It's interesting because women. Wow, I'm gonna sound like such a weird passport bro incel type of thing, but like, um, number one, people's views on Mexicans are very low. If you talk to Latin Americans from like other countries, the way they see it, and when I say Mexicans, I don't mean like South Mexico, like Jalisco, Oaxaca. I don't mean like a Ciudad de Mexico. I don't mean like Mexico City or anything like that. I'm specifically talking about like La Frontera or the border, like that side of Mexico. Um, it's just and Chicano culture too is just not seen as very favorable by other Latin Americans. I personally like I like Mexicans just as much as the next dude. I mean, I love Mexican food and all that stuff. I mean, I live in Texas, but we just don't have like the same lived experience as like other parts of Latin America and like Panama. Anyway, a lot of other Latin Americans that come to the U.S. really don't like Mexicans, like a lot. It's kind of crazy actually, talking to them because uh, like Latin Americans are frankly very similar. So to be like so like racist to one another is actually kind of crazy to me. Um, 'Cause I just see it all the time. Like sometimes I'll be chilling, I'll be like, so like how do you like Texas? And they're like Mexicans, and I'm like, bro, I'm like, whoa, I'm like just pump those brakes, bro. Anyway, this chick was well, where I was going with that is people in the United States and like San Antonio specifically are not very friendly. Maybe that's the word. I don't know. Like people, there's a culture of just like not showing up on time, ghosting people, not following with commitments, being very dry, really high egos. I literally talked about it in like the women's like egos video, but like it's like horrible. It is a horrible experience being a single person here. Anyway, finding somebody who's only been in America for like a couple months and being able to like chill with them was such a ridiculous breath of fresh air. Um, she's like real like thin. You could tell because like if you're a country girl, that's another interesting thing. A country girl in the United States, you're thinking of like a corn-fed, like husky chick. I'm talking about kind of curvy, strong, type of farmer chick. A when we're talking about a chick from Latin America that's like a farm girl, we're talking about like a girl who's probably like just built real thin. Yeah, and if you're in the cities, they're generally a little thicker. It's just so interesting to yeah, it's so interesting to be able to break bread with somebody like that. It's nice. I cleaned my house ahead of time because I guess like I don't know. So I'm a very unassuming person. So here's a lesson of the day. Nobody's even here, but I guess if you're watching to the end, you're gonna get this super secret lesson. And the secret lesson is how to get women into your house. So she was sitting on that couch right there, and I'm positive she did not think she was gonna come anywhere near my house. Um, and I mean, I didn't like kiss her or do anything like that, because that's generally not a good idea. Um, I'm a very unassuming person, which is very interesting because earlier in my life, um, some people see me as very intimidating, very sketchy, not a very good person, and other people see me as like some kind of angel, which is hilarious to me. Apparently, she was like, because I was telling her because earlier in my life I was frankly a bad person. I suppose like I'm not a great person now, but my actions aren't bad. Um, and weirdly enough, wow, I didn't even realize this. On the way to my house, I talked about walking around the neighborhood and like being a little depressed. And she asked me why. And I told her I had sociopathic and narcissistic tendencies and that I was actually crazy. And then we came to my house, right? So we saw my house and I was like, hey, I was like, if your feet hurt a little bit, we don't have to walk so much. We can just like chill. And she's like, well, I don't really know you like that. And I was like, cool. I was like, let's just sit on the front porch, right? We're sitting on the front porch and, it's just hot as fuck, hot as fudge. Sorry. Out here. And the sun is like beating down and, I'm a little white. So, I started getting red and she's like, are you okay? Like, do you need to go inside? And I was like, yeah, we can go inside. She's like, yeah, you look like you're burning. And I was like, sure. I was like, you may enter. And so, we're just like both on the couch, like sitting down, talking, just, in Spanish, you call it echando cuentos. So, we're just sitting down, like shooting the shit. And it is a really nice thing. And I could tell that to some extent she enjoyed being there. She was like, oh, this is nice. And to another extent, I think she was actually terrified at the fact that she just popped in my house. Like I'm positive that was like never on it because I could see the way she was looking around. She's like, holy God, like I'm in here. And what are you gonna do, right? And now with a chick who's like way more like conservative, which she's way more conservative than like other U.S. U.S. women. Like if that was just like a regular girl from San Antonio, she probably would have like actually just tried to do something with me, but she didn't, which is really nice. Usually women, damn, why does this sound? This is so weird. Women try to use me for my body. Ugh. It's not. I mean, I should be okay saying that. It feels unmasculine. It feels like a it feels like a counter to what I should be saying. I should be like, oh, well, they use me for everybody. Anyway, point is, women don't women don't respect pretty men. Jesus Christ, how much ego can I have? Anyway, yeah, I mean, actually, yes. Like women, if you don't, if you're not a very, we'll say, intimidating man, if you're not very, um, if you don't push them away, they will make the first move. They'll just start gravitating towards you. Especially like we'll call them stronger, more willful women. Will do that. You know, they'll feel the need to become more dominant because they start to see something they want, and when they don't get it immediately, because most guys are just giving shit up immediately, or always doing the chasing. A woman likes to feel that power. Except they go too hard on it because they don't know how to take no for an answer, and so it starts getting kind of weird. She didn't try anything. You could tell that for strong-willed as she was, her real diving in was just like accepting an invitation inside. um I like that. That was very nice. It is nice to just have a conversation and not be looked at like a piece of meat. What a weird world to live in. I'm definitely different than I was when I was younger, I suppose. Anyway, it was a good day. Be unassuming. If you're unassuming, people will feel less threatened around you, and their inhibitions will lower. And if you want their inhibitions to be lowered because they'll be more vulnerable, you can tell them things you otherwise wouldn't be able to tell other people, or maybe they will, try and spend more time with you, or make more moves towards you. And if you're into that type of thing, it'll help out a lot. Other than that, guys, we'll see you tomorrow for sure. Definitely not a maybe, like some of those other videos. Also, looking kind of fly today. Shit.